I say all that to say I think we should start calling these promoters lazy. Straight up. Okay, turn it off. That's all we can afford. What's going on, you guys? Steve here. And let's react to some more DJ content.
Producing and DJing are very separate things. Like, there's a lot of producers who cannot DJ. They cannot DJ. No shade. But they can't DJ. It's not like some producers really are amazing in the studio. Some DJs are just, they just want to be DJs.
So this is common sense. I do both, but I think it's perfectly fine to just be a DJ or just be a producer. For whatever reason, in the last 10-15 years, the music industry has muddled the two together. They're two separate skills that you have to build up, but it is okay to just do one or the other. On one of my recent videos, I don't even remember which one it was, I had a guy who was claiming he's just a DJ, trying to argue that, oh, I'm only a DJ, but just because bro, why are you yelling at me? I agree with you. It's perfectly fine.
People don't understand how many DJ Instagram profiles I look at a week. Right, through for the Bottle Blonde stuff, for the Yo stuff, for people that are signing up to Club Killers. Mm-hmm. And one of my biggest problems with DJs that I always look at, and it's a turn off right away, is them posting flyers. All they post is flyers, so it just tells me you don't understand social media. Mm-hmm. You're not creating reels and content like how you are now. Yeah, it's not engaging at all. So that's a big red flag to me. And I know it has, and it's like, I have the devil and the angel, right? The owner and the DJ. So it's like, oh man, I shouldn't be judging them on their Instagram, but yeah, I have to, because I know this guy's gonna provide less value to me.
The topic of flyer spam on social media is really interesting to me because I notice it and nobody ever talks about it. There's a certain type of DJ that does flyer spam. It's typically older millennial DJs that play hip hop and or Spanish music. Those guys who play Bad Bunny, YG, 90s G-Funk, anything with Lil Jon or Fat Man Scoop screaming on it. Those are typically the guys who only post flyers. If you look at their Instagram, you can scroll down years on their Instagram back to 2017 and it's all just gig flyers. It's kind of weird because club promoters, owners, talent buyers, they want these DJs to be chronically online and just constantly pushing and promoting these gigs, but that's not the type of content they want you making. He's being really diplomatic about it, but they don't want flyer spam. They want you making comedy skits like Drewski where you're promoting the gig at the end of it. They want those cringy, super generic TikTok mashups. They want you posting action shots of your gigs where they can see big crowds, and they want your comments spammed with fire emojis and people saying, hey, come to Walnut Creek, come to Sarasota, come to Manchester. That's what they really want. They want you creating stuff where they can see people are interacting with it, and just posting flyers for 5 years straight isn't going to get much engagement. Yeah, you're promoting the gig, and that's what they want, but they want you doing it in different ways.
I've been wanting to say this for a while. Restaurants, bars, hotels, if you don't own DJ equipment, then you don't have a DJ program. It's not the DJ's responsibility to provide gear for your business. DJs, if you are asked to bring gear, you need to charge a rental fee on top of your DJ rate. Every time we take out gear, we risk damaging it. It only takes one spilled drink. Even if it's something light and easy to transport like a controller, you still have to charge a rental fee. DJs, please stop bringing gear out for free. Restaurants, bars, small business, whatever, if you want to participate in this world, you have to have some skin in the game, and that means investing gear into your business. Your DJs will be happier, you'll be happier, it's better for everybody.
I agree. If you're a DJ playing gigs where you have to provide all your own gear, definitely you should protect yourself and protect your equipment. I don't have any type of issue with this. I come from a smaller market area where they don't have a bunch of big foo-foo clubs, so most of the spots are pretty DIY. They're just hole-in-the-wall bars and stuff. A bunch of those places do not invest in DJ gear. They don't even have speakers. They barely even have tables half the time. But it's a trip because, like he said, these places want to have DJs because they know young people like DJs, but they just don't invest in the gear. They don't invest in the DJs. They make DJs bring thousands of dollars in equipment to play these gigs for like $100, $200, $300, whatever. And then you risk your gear getting broken. And then most of the time, they won't even compensate you if your stuff gets broken. Yeah, definitely protect yourself. I will say it's kind of hard to negotiate those types of terms in this DJ climate because most of these places don't want to pay DJs. So it's kind of hard to come in and negotiate some terms like this when these people could just get their nephew to do it for free. They can just get their dirty roommate to DJ for $100 and some tequila shots. So why are they going to compensate you for fees for your gear and stuff? So I agree with everything he's saying, but in some spots, it is kind of hard to negotiate that because a bunch of these places are super cheap and they just don't want to pay people.
Girl, you know it's true, and you say, come on, I love you.
For those of you who don't know, this is the surviving member of a group called Milli Vanilli. The story of Milli Vanilli is genuinely fascinating to me. It really just highlights how modern music fans don't have musical integrity. They don't care about authenticity. A bunch of people sit here and yap and argue and say, oh yeah, we like good music and we want good artists. They really don't. It's all about the gimmicks and just following trends. For those of you who don't know, Milli Vanilli was a German pop duo from the 80s. Within a year of the group forming, they were topping the charts, selling millions of records. Very quickly though, that all came crashing down. During a live performance on MTV, their vocals skipped and they were outed for faking it. It came to light that everything they did was faked. It wasn't even their vocals on their tracks. They didn't write their tracks. They didn't make the songs. They were manufactured by the label. They were just the pretty faces taking the credit for the songs, pushing records to a Target demo. They were actually fashion models. They weren't even singers or artists to begin with. Ultimately, they were shamed out of the industry, and one of the members unfortunately took his. Fast forward to present day, and this is commonplace. Music fans don't care if you fake it, and the industry doesn't even try to hide it. Most of these pop stars have 10 ghostwriters, 5 ghost producers, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I think some of the backlash was unfair to them. They weren't the first people to be doing this, and they definitely weren't the last. This is still happening. Even though I advocate for musical integrity and doing it the right way, I do think people were really hard on them. It was polarizing at the time because back then people thought all of these attractive faces taking credit for these hit records were genuinely making the music, and this was the first time that people found out, oh snap, these people are faking it. But it just highlights how modern fans don't really care about if you're good, if you're working hard or not. As long as you look good, you're famous, you're funny on Instagram, they'll let you slide. Half the DJs complaining about not getting booked don't even bring 10 people to their sets. The scene runs on effort, not entitlement. Oh my god, this is really bad rage bait. This has to be. I hate seeing posts like this because obviously people like this just want to get attention. They always try to oversimplify the industry and try to discourage and argue and break musicians who may not be getting results. I've pushed through the industry far enough to know that stuff like this is just cope. There's no direct correlation between your effort and how many people show up to see you. I'll say that again.
There's no direct correlation between your effort and how many people show up to see you.
Sure, at face value, people can say, oh, if you're hyper famous, then yeah, you worked hard. Sure, but that's not always the case, as we just broke down with Milli Vanilli. You can work really hard to promote yourself, you can make really great music, you can make really great sets, and people just won't go. Believe it or not, that does happen. I could tear this to shreds with personal anecdotes and stats, but I mean, this is just really bad rage bait. Let's check out the comments. Promoter brings the people. I keep them there and get them to want to come back. If you're booking DJs based on their ability to pull a crowd, your events are probably mediocre. And there's that. I agree. I've said this before. If you have a venue, a club, a music lounge, a dive bar, whatever, and people only want to show up if you book people who have 100K plus followers, your spot probably sucks. The industry has allocated that marketing responsibility to the musicians, but it's not their responsibility. And we live in a time where even if you are good, if you don't have a big following, people are gonna sleep on you. It's just a fact. I'm sure I'm going to get people coping in the comments saying, oh, if you're good, then you're going to make it. You're going to blow up. People like good songs. They really don't. They really don't.
There's no direct correlation between your effort.
It ultimately boils down to the marketing and just having a name that's backed by social proof. You can be hyper talented, but if you don't have a big base and a bunch of people saying, hey, you're good. Hey, this guy's tight. Hey, let's go to this arena show because this person's cool. They're not going to show up for you. I don't say that to be negative. I'm not trying to trigger people or discourage anybody, but it is true. You need to package your stuff in a way that makes people get FOMO and want to care. It's not about just making a good song. I say all that to say, I think we should start calling these promoters lazy. Straight up. Everybody puts so much pressure on these artists and DJs, but there's no accountability on the side of the industry.
In today's game, people have to see you 15 times to see you once. Cardi B is a multi-platinum diamond artist. She walking on the train and play with her merch. She's doing that because she has to. But it's not just for you to say, hey, when I made this song, I was just in a certain type of mind space. No, we need 50 things from you so we could understand why we need to like it once. And it's
well, because everyone's also saying what Cardi's doing is the old school way of rolling out.
It's one and the same. Even Breakfast Club, it's not the same as it was before.
Right.
Like, if you had a good Breakfast Club interview, you were selling records. That's not the way no more. And you got to go see, hey, Casanat, what you doing?
But what about then the secret album drop? Beyonce did it. Drake did it.
That's like me saying Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. The problem that the younger acts is having is that this Thanos was right, bro.
Uh-oh.
Talk about it.
We got too much of everything.
Uh-oh.
For real, it don't make us appreciate nothing. We have too much of everything.
So I've said this before. I think Thanos was right. Shout out to Wayno. He's spot on with this. We really do have access to too much music, and it's just changed the way music fans approach it. It's much harder to get their attention, and that's ultimately what it's about, just retaining attention. This is honestly a big reason why so many artists make content post-release, because they have to keep pushing it, and you have to keep the stuff in people's faces so they care. There were times where I would try to promote my music for a week straight on my Instagram stories. I would see people watching it every single day, the same people just looking at it. They weren't liking it, they weren't commenting, they didn't say anything, but they saw it. It wasn't until the 5th or 6th day of posting it until they started engaging and saying, oh wow, I'm barely getting around to this song. It's actually really cool. This is sick. So to all of my fellow musicians out there, don't just post stuff once and drop it. You have to keep pushing it. You have to keep shopping it. You have to keep it in these people's faces because they will not care if they see it once and keep swiping.
All right, Mob. So the conversation that's happening right now is that there is no song of the summer because music is boring. See, what's actually happening right now is that we don't have what's called a
Monoculture.
And what a monoculture basically was that thing that we could all point at and say, okay, this is the thing. Like a Michael Jackson, like a Madonna, like a Jay-Z, like a Kanye West, like a Drake. Those were all part of the
Monoculture.
And the way that the social media algorithms are now, it's more interest-based than it is social-based. So you're going to be shown things that you're specifically interested in. And as a result, society has kind of drifted into different bubbles of existence. Meaning, a song that can be massive in one bubble can be completely irrelevant in another. But when we had monoculture, we could all point at one song and be like, okay, that is the song. But now, that doesn't exist. It's kind of the same reason why people like Charlemagne the God are saying there's no superstars anymore. So when you hear people say something like, oh, there's no song of the summer, they're right. There's like 20 of them right now. You just might not be in those bubbles to understand the impact.
I've been saying this for almost the entire time I've had this channel, but I guess it's cooler when somebody else says it. Every time I say this, people are always trying to argue with me. Oh, music is fine and da-da-da-da-da. This person's famous and this person blew up and this person's making good songs. Cool, but only the people who follow them know about it. Back when everybody was watching MTV and 106 and Park, we all knew the same 20 hit records. Now, if you don't follow these people on TikTok and Instagram, you don't know their music. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know where they're at. I really don't want to rehash what he's saying, but he's right. I've been saying the same exact thing and people try to argue with me about it. I will say I'm curious to know what this means for DJs in the future in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Right now we're close enough to the 2000s and 2010s to where we can play those throwbacks and people still remember those songs. But what happens when Gen Alpha and Gen Beta, these kids who only grew up with TikTok algorithms and streaming, what happens to them? Are they still going to be cool with you playing Yeah by Usher? Are they going to be cool with DJs playing the Black Eyed Peas and Pitbull and all of those hit records that everybody knows from 10, 15 years ago? Or will those future generations just be bombarding DJs with requests because they can't handle sitting through a DJ set? They don't have the patience to sit through it. Will they respect throwbacks or will they just be super pushy and demanding about requests? Soft clubbing, the new way to rave. I made a dedicated video about DJ pop-ups. I think they're cool. I stand on that. I think it's super creative that DJs have made their own platforms because the whole industry is flooded and oversaturated by too many DJs. That being said, I do think we fixed a problem, but we created another one. It's well documented that Gen Z is the most sober generation in recent history. They're just not drinking like older generations. They're not going out like older generations. And what drives nightlife? Drinking. I think the rise of these sober community-based events are really cool, but it also puts pressure on nightlife DJs to pull these crazy crowds that are big spenders and these high rollers buying bottles. It's just a really interesting situation because a bunch of these bars and clubs are just overtly money hungry now. They just really demand that you make those sales. I'm convinced that the only time people want to talk to the DJ is in the middle of a transition. Yeah, this is true. Honestly, I'm curious to know the science behind that. You could be two-stepping, you could be talking to your friends, you could just be staring into your computer, you could be staring out into the abyss. But as soon as you start mixing, all of a sudden everybody's got a question. All of a sudden somebody wants to say something. It's pretty funny. It's funny because it's true. That's all I got for this one. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.